कुंज बिहारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी कुंज गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Hariva Pavana Harinama Sankirtan ki Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Shri Shri Radha Govinda Dev Shriman Mahaprabhu ki Shri Shri Radha Madhava Sakya Vrinda ki Pancha Tattva ki Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Lakshmi Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Srila Prabhupada ki Nitai Gaura Premanandi Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuvunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavananyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Ajanulambita Bhujo Kanakavadhatau Sankirtanaikapitarav Kamalayatakshav Vishwambharau Dvijavarau Yugadharmapalau Vande Jagat Priyakarau Karunaavatarau Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoditau Gaudodaye Pushpavantau Chitrau Shamdau Tamonudau
हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। This is 1.1.8. Okay. Welcome all of you for the Bhagavatam class today. We are going to recite a verse from the first canto, first chapter, 8th verse. Vedhatvam saumya tat sarvam tatpatastad anugrahat bruyuh snigdhasya shishyasya guravo guhyamapyuta. Vedhatvam saumya tat sarvam tatpatastad anugrahat bruyuh snigdhasya shishyasya guravo guhyamapyuta. Vedtatvam saumya tat sarvam tatpatastat anugrahat bruyo snigdhasya shishyasya guravo guhyamapyuta. Vedtatvam saumya tat sarvam tatpatastat anugrahat bruyo snigdhasya shishyasya guravo guhyamapyuta. Vedtatvam saumya tat sarvam tatpatastat anugrahat bruyo snigdhasya shishyasya guravo guhyamapyuta. Matajis. Vetatvam saumya tat sarvam tatpatastat anugrahat bruyuh snigdhasya shishyasya guravo guhyamapyuta. Vetatvam saumya tat sarvam tatpatastat anugrahat bruyuh snigdhasya shishyasya guravo guhyamapyuta. Vetha, you are well conversant. Tvam, you are honored. Saumya, one who is pure and simple. Tat, those. Sarvam, all. Tatpataha, in fact. Tat, there. Anugrahat, by the favor of. Bruyuhu, will tell. Snigdhasya, of the one who is submissive. Shishyasya, of the disciple. Guravaha, the spiritual masters. Guhyam, secret. Apyuta, endowed with. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. And because you are submissive, your spiritual masters have endowed you with all the favors bestowed upon a gentle disciple. Therefore, you can tell us all that you have scientifically learned from them. Please repeat. And because you are submissive, your spiritual masters have endowed you with all the favors bestowed upon a gentle disciple. Therefore, you can tell us all that you have scientifically learned from them. Purport. The secret of success in spiritual life is in satisfying the spiritual master and thereby getting his sincere blessings. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has sung in his famous 8 stanzas of the spiritual on the spiritual master as follows. What is that one called as? Gurvashtakam, Samsaradava prayers. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. Only by his satisfaction can one please the personality of Godhead. And when he is dissatisfied, there is only havoc on the path of spiritual realization. Yasya prasada, yasya aprasada. It is essential, therefore, that a disciple be very much obedient and submissive to the bona fide spiritual master. Srila Sutta Goswami fulfilled all these qualifications as a disciple, and therefore he was endowed with all favors by his learned and self-realized spiritual masters, such as Srila Vyasadeva and others. The sages of Naimisharanya were confident that Srila Sutta Goswami was bona fide. Therefore, they were anxious to hear from him. So, once His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj gave a beautiful talk on the culture and the conduct and behavior of a Bhagavatam speaker and a Bhagavatam hearer. Because yesterday we were talking about inquiry and hearing. First 2 steps we have heard. So I was thinking I will share that notes with you. I only got one devotee who made the notes and sent me. But then later on, when Antardi Prabhu was given that notes, he even made highlights in that. So my spiritual master used to say, when you highlight a notes, it's like decorating the deity with ornaments. So now I'll show you the notes and we will discuss from that. The qualification of a congratulator and a personal realization. That's the first thing he begins with. Is it big enough for all of you? Small, no? I can make it big for you. You see, Shaunakadi rishis are glorifying Suta Goswami when they are appreciating, just like we heard the verses now. Vetatvam. Tatra they are saying that Bruju Hustikta Shashishasya Guruvo Guhyam Apyutam. You are a Snigdha Shishya. Snigdha is used for ghee. Ghee is very soft, isn't it? Like that, if the disciple and guru relationship is very smooth, in the sense that the disciple becomes a faithful and loyal disciple, following the instructions of the guru, and guru is pleased with the disciple. The disciple is not mischievous. The disciple is not naughty. He says, I was not naughty. Who says that? Narada Bhai. What is the meaning of naughty? In front of Guru showing a drama. Huh? As if one is very submissive and surrendered. Speaking very, Maharaj. You have seen the people. And behind the screen, when Guru is gone, fighting, punching on the nose of others and fighting and quarreling and not fulfilling Guru's instruction properly. But externally pretending to be a good disciple. It's called naughty. So he was not naughty in behavior. He was very, just like we say, no, the rat is dancing when cat is away. So that is a naughty disciple. Mhm. Yeah, proper disciple is one, even if Guru is million miles away, or the Guru has left the planet also. Has gone to the next destination. Still, the disciple takes the instruction of the Guru as life and soul, all his life. Like our Prabhupada, 1965, when he went to America to preach, his Guru had left the world in 1936. You can see between 1936 and 1965, good now, almost 30 and 29 years or so. Almost close to 30 years later, he is, uh, preaching in America. But you can see how loyal, how faithful. See, one thing we should know, not only your Diksha Guru, even while dealing with your Shiksha Gurus or counselors or your authorities, all these people also, if we maintain a Bhinnadrik or separatist mentality, and we show one thing in front of them, and then we do something behind the screen, thinking that they will not come to know, we are sadly mistaken. Because it is true that they are also conditioned souls and they also have limited senses and they may not be able to know what mischief you are doing on their own. Yeah, Shishikavanataki. See, they may not be able to know what mischief you are doing, but the super soul is there in his heart and super soul is there in your heart. So super soul gives them some feeling to them that there is something problematic with this devotee. They don't know what it is, but they can get that kind of, super soul only gives them that kind of thing. So they sense it. Like for example, sometimes a person's behavior shows you that he is not very happy with you, correct? No? You may not exactly, he may not tell you with the mouth. Like imagine you go to some relative's house. As soon as you enter their house, they ask you, कितने दिन का program आपका? Ready? So from their face, from the way they receive you, you can understand that you are not wanted there. Correct, no? In the same manner, if one is naughty and mischievous and duplicitous, it is only a matter of time. The matter will go to the top. Your superiors, they will come to know you cannot do the drama for a long time. Therefore, it is in our interest that we are thoroughly honest. Actually, honesty, transparency, faithfulness, loyalty, these things will offer you the two qualities which were said in this verse, pure and simple. Sutta Goswami was pure and I felt this first time when I met His Grace Pandit Gadadhar Prabhu. When he and two more devotees came to Pune, they were there for some time. How long you were all there in Pune? 1 month. They stayed in Pune. That is the first time my meeting happened. Which was the year, Pandit Gadarpu? Almost 2008, 2009. See, he speaks Bengali and I speak English, Hindi. I'm from South India. He is from Bangladesh. Although externally our languages are different, we are in different parts of the country. When he came to Pune, within a couple of days, I could get that kind of feeling. Here is very pure and simple devotee, very unassuming. He's the leader of the Chittagong, Chattagram temple. So when I went to Bangladesh, uh, I told him, don't, they had arranged me a very first class accommodation, nice accommodation somewhere outside. I said, I want to stay with you fellows only, with brahmacharis only. I can. So they took me to the rooftop of one building, Radha Madhav temple. And I was shocked because the roof, terrace, they had made shacks, shacks, just jopadi you make like that. They had made very simple shacks like this, temporary structure. Hmm. They had made in each room, two to three brahmacharis were staying like that. So, and amongst those rooms, whatever room they considered as best, that they gave me. Mhm. It was like Sudama offering this thing. Very simple, chipped, right? They had very simple, they were living like Sudamas. It was like going to Sudama's house. They were living such simple life, but their preaching was vigorous. They have made a lot of devotees. In fact, I don't know how many of you know, Pandit Gadadhar Prabhu was the one who took initiative. Then Devarishi Narada Prabhu came. Then who is the other one, third one? Huh? Hari Prem, yeah. From now Kali, Hari Prem Prabhu also came. And then gradually, later on, I got to meet Jagat Guru Gauranga Prabhu also. So these are devotees who have been, not only they liked the youth preaching in Pune, they took all the voice books, youth preaching books, and translated them into Bengali language. And they started youth preaching. And in the beginning days, when he was doing preaching to youth, a lot of youth started coming, just like you all are coming here. All the temples in Bangladesh were amazed. There's so many youths coming. And then gradually many joined hands. And then he arranged in the Pundrik Dham, he would arrange youth preachers meet. Sometimes 100 or 150 devotees, youth preachers will come. All preachers. Every year I used to go for 1 week in a year. And now they have 50 plus voice centers there in Bangladesh. And all started by Pandit Gadadhar Prabhu. He is the first personality to promote their youth preaching there. And after seeing him, many temples saw that yes, it is working, and they wanted to also start, and they also started. Now, many centers. They took me to a few centers. At the same time, I found that people like him for his simplicity, for his pure heart, and helping nature, unassuming nature, and focus in spiritual life. Not wanting anything from anybody, always wanting to give and be of some service. So, in my travels across the globe for various preaching projects, I always look for such devotees and I connect. I have handpicked 2 dozen devotees like this in different parts of the world. And I will take out time to go and meet them and spend time with them. So these people, seeing what they're doing. Actually, in the heart of such devotees, Lord Krishna resides, where they lead faithful and loyal lives. So associating with such a devotee, you can pick up very good association. You will immensely gain. And later on, because of his sincerity in preaching, subsequently they got a land, and then now they have raised a big tower there, which is called Nandan Kanan. How many floors, Prabhu? 10? 8 floors? Yeah, 8 floors. 8 floors, big building and beautiful temple. That's like what Lord Krishna gave to Sudama. For their simple service, Krishna has given that gift of that temple. That's a very opulent, very attractive temple. Amazing doors and lot of carvings. And oh, that looks extremely royal. They made that. But then he told me that there are devotees who don't want to leave that Radha Madhav temple rooftop where they are staying, cottage. And they don't want to come to the new temple fully because they have some feelings for that place. They started from there. So some devotees stay there and some devotees are here. Correct, no? Both are running now. Yeah, both the temples are running now. So when by his speech and behavior and his sincerity, I felt he has received the blessings of his spiritual master. So that's what he's saying. Guravo Gokhyam Apyuta. So when we will grow over the years from the infancy in Krishna consciousness, as we grow 4 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. But as we grow, along with our growth in devotional service, weeds also grow. Huh? What are the weeds? Nishiddhachar, Kutinati, Jiva Himsana, Puja, Pratishta, Labha, Puja, Labha, Pratishta, Adi, Upashaka, Adi Gana. It says that Nishiddhachar means they may break the four regulative principles. Kutinati means duplicity, not simplicity. Jiva Himsana means becoming proud and harmful and violent towards other devotees, angry, that kind of behavior, and uh, expecting that others should worship me, or others should give me gifts, or others should honor me in public as a very big person or something. This kind of pratishtha, upashaka adigana, is saying that all these are weeds, he says. So when the weeds grow and choke the devotional creeper, our chemistry changes. The way we think, the way we speak, the way we behave, unnecessary humbug. Huh? Humbug, you heard humbug in English? You don't know? Humbug, what is it in Hindi? Humbug. Huh? You don't know? Huh? We'll see. Let's see. The humbug is saying false talk or behavior, saying deceptive behavior. Say deceptive or false talk or behavior. Hypocritical talk or behavior is saying. Okay. So, yeah. So, therefore, in this, they are glorifying Suta Goswami. Let us see. Maharaj has given very, very deep realizations in this. But let us see as much as we can. First is qualification of congratulator and personal realization. Okay. In a meeting of learned men, when there are congratulations or addresses for the speaker, the qualifications of the congratulator should be as follows. He must be a leader of the house. Prabhupada says this. He must be an elderly man. He must be vastly learned also. So Shaunaka the rishis, they were more than 88,000, I heard. Huh? So Shaunaka rishi himself is a guru of 88,000 disciples. And all are sitting also. And he is also sitting and hearing the lecture by Suta Goswami. So because he is a very grown-up personality, very advanced personality, he is sheltering great number of souls. He is a very elderly man also, very vastly learned. In fact, in Bhagavatam, you will find him, sometimes he speaks 20 shlokas also. You will find that series of verses he speaks now about how, Taravakyam na jivanti, Vastrakyam na shasanti, Tanakadanti na mehanti, Kim grame pashuvo apare, or you will see him speaking this, Satyam shitau kim kashivo prayase, Bahau swasiddhe, Upabarhanai kim satyanjalo kim purdanna patriya, Digbal kalado sadikim dukulai, Chirani santi, Padishantina bhiksham. These verses talk about what is the need for a house. There are gufas available, which are warm in winter and cool in summer. What is the need of, maintaining a syntax tank? We have river water flowing. What is the need of cooking any food at home? We have the fruits available, given fruits and berries given by the trees. What is the need of any patra or a vessel? God has given us two hands. Just combine the two hands, you get a patra. What is the need of any pillow? Just fold your hand and this is a pillow. Like that it is saying. What is the need for any bedding? When the vast earthly, plateau, flat is available, you can take rest in that. Like that he says. So, Shaunaka Rishi, very powerful verses. Shaunaka Rishi will speak in the, and then he will glorify also Suta Goswami. You must have heard that. Mahatmaikanta Parayana. What that was? Mahatmaikanta Parayanasya Nantam Gunana Bhavanasya Jagmur Yogeshwaraya Bhavapatma Mukhya. Very, very beautiful verse. And no Bhavan Vai Bhagavat Pradhano Mahatmaikanta Parayanasya Hare Rudaram Charitam Vishuddham Shushrushatam no Vitano to Vidvan. What is saying? Oh, Sudha Goswami, you are a Bhagavata Pradhan, which means you don't talk any subject other than Krishna. That's why you Bhagavat Pradhan. You possess God, you are after God, and you are after God only. Prabhupada says, yeah, ideal guru means one who is after God and after God only. He's saying he is not after anything else. So he says, you are Bhagavat Pradhan, and who are we? We are Shushrushatam. We are very eager to hear. You are actually capable of speaking well, and we are very eager to hear. And who is Lord Hari? Harer Vishuddham. Harer Udaram. Charitam Vishuddham. Lord Hari's pastimes are all very pure and Dhyana Mangalam, Shravana Mangalam. And he is very Udaram, very compassionate Lord. He is a Bhakta Vatsala Govinda. So we definitely want to hear about Lord Hari from you, like that they are saying. Very beautiful appreciation. And then he's saying that Shaunaka Rishi had all these qualifications, so they stood up to congratulate Suta Goswami. And then Shukadeva Goswami also realized it personally. And then Prabhupada says, personal realization does not mean that one should out of vanity attempt to show one's own learning by trying to surpass the previous acharyas. He must have full confidence in the previous acharya. Actually, devotees had given Maharaj this verse. I'll tell you the reason why. Because sometimes devotees feel that some Bhagavatam speaker speaks something which doesn't appear to be so much like what things Prabhupada has presented. Like Prabhupada, practically in every lecture, at least you will hear some sound of Krishna, Krishna coming out. How many of you heard Krishna sound in Prabhupada's lectures? Every few sentences you will find Krishna. And also surrendering to Krishna, service to Krishna. Another famous word is no sense gratification. Correct? You clearly hear these sounds in Prabhupada's lecture. You have to, anybody, anywhere, LKG child can understand what Prabhupada is saying. You should give up sense gratification and you should surrender to Krishna. And the goal of life is to go back to Godhead. These are all, almost in every lecture you will find. So Prabhupada may give any lecture on any topic, but these points are very essential points. But it is seen that sometimes a Bhagavatam speaker speaks and there is not much about Krishna. There is not much about giving up sense gratification. There is not much about purifying the heart and going back to God. But he is very much enjoying, relishing some technical subject, technical aspect of the purport or something, or he is taking the Sanskrit and Sandhi which he is doing. If you combine these two words, this comes. If you separate these two words, it can come like this. Or he is just relishing very coolly. This world is in Kali Yuga, our life is very short. We should pack up and go back home back to God. So that is why out of pride, we should not surpass the previous acharyas like Prabhupada or spiritual master. We should have full confidence in them. I know there have been devotees in ISKCON who started finding fault with Prabhupada's purport, and now they are no more in ISKCON now. They said Prabhupada could have instead of you could have avoided this or written like that, and they were even thinking they are better than the Acharya. Now they are no more now. No more part of ISKCON now. They left and gone. I know one such person. He made very proud comments in the WhatsApp groups, and many people objected. Later on, he even wrote a book with a lot of irregularities, blaspheming, subtly criticizing Prabhupada, and now he is no more now. He's not in the scene anymore. He could have contributed a lot to the ISKCON society if he remained a very intelligent personality. Just because we are very intelligent doesn't mean we cannot be offensive. In fact, intelligence can be more offensive also. Because you may start thinking you are a great soul or you have a halo around the head. We should, every moment, we should be very careful not to offend the Acharya. Acharya mam vijaniyam na avamanyeta karhichit. Namartya buddhya asuyeta sarvadeva mayo guru. It is our Acharya should be respected as good as Krishna. Navamanyata karichit. Never offend him. Never think yourself better than him. So, therefore, one should have full confidence in the great souls. Actually, Rahugana is a very good example. One small mistake he committed when Jadabharata spoke some very enlightened words. What did he do? Immediately he jumped off the palanquin, fell at his feet, clasped his feet, and then he said, Naham Vishanke Suraraja Vajra Natraksha Shula Nayamasya Danda. Correct, no? He says that I am not afraid of Yama's Danda, Varuna's noose, Shiva's Trishul. Huh? What am I afraid of? Shanke Brisham, Brahma Kula Avamanat. Huh? I am afraid of offending, your Vaishnava devotee. So, one should be very careful. One should not be very inattentive or careless in blaspheming or criticizing and fault finding. At the same time, you must realize the subject matter so nicely that you can present the matter with the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. The original purpose of the text must be maintained. No obscure meaning should be screwed out of it. Yet it should be presented in an interesting manner for the understanding of the audience. See, for example, in Bhagavad Gita, one purport Prabhupada writes, women are less intelligent, he writes. So now some speakers have a difficulty in explaining this. They say, actually women are more intelligent than men, But, just Prabhupada is saying this here. We should not take it seriously. And that's called as, what do you call this? It's called as waffling. But why the word is used in the Shastra like that? It's not that women are less intelligent in computer science. In fact, the first 3 ranks go to women only. You go to any IIT and ask many times, women crack the top ranks very easily. How many of you have seen? Correct? Then how can you call them less intelligent? Somebody may ask you. In studying and remembering and repeating, women are quite as smart as men. But when Prabhupada says this, what is the meaning? Women are soft by nature, and due to their emotional nature, their discrimination gets affected. For example, when Ashwatthama was brought by Arjuna, none of the Pandavas offered obeisances to him. Only one personality offered obeisances. Who is that? Draupadi. Draupadi is seeing him as a Guru Putra. But these fellows are seeing him as a, murderer, Atatai. Huh? So they saw with the eye of discrimination. But she had no discrimination because she thought that, he's a Guru's son, so we should respect him. Because of her innocence and simplicity, like a child doesn't know who is a terrorist, who is a criminal. If a terrorist comes and gives a banana to a child, he will go with him. A child doesn't know. Your terrorist should be kept away. Isn't it? So, like Sita Mata, she trusted Ravana, who came in disguise, and Ravana told her to come out of the Lakshman Rekha, correct, no? She should not have crossed because Lakshman said, this Lakshman Rekha is as good as myself. I am supposed to protect you, but you are very much insulting me and asking me to go to Ram. I will go now. I am very unhappy that I have to leave you and go because Ram has ordered me to protect you. But now that I am not physically able to be here to protect you, this Rekha, Lakshman Rekha I am drawing, that will protect you. So he told her, but if you come out of this, you have danger. As long as you remain within this, you have no danger. So he said that and went. But when that so-called monk who asked Sita to come out of that line and give the fruits, she went out, correct, no? She trusted him as a monk, but he was a cheater. He was Ravana in disguise. You see, she could not discriminate. Due to her charitable nature, due to her kind heart, good heart, she easily could get. She was gullible. She was cheatable. On the other hand, when Ram showed that deer to Lakshman, Lakshman saw that and said, what is this? This golden deer with a golden hue, this doesn't appear to be one of the 8.4 million species. This looks pretty different. I think this is a Mayavi deer, he said. So Lakshman already could discriminate it and tell in advance, this doesn't look like ordinary deer. And then Ram took the bow and arrow, and when he was when he was running behind the deer, one observation Ram made. This deer, when it is hopping like this, when Ram would come near, from here he would jump like 50 feet distance. He will disappear here and appear there. Ram understood this. And also it leaps very high, like 20, 30 feet above the ground. So Ram thought that the ordinary deers cannot leap so much. He's leaping also high and disappearing and appearing in another place. Definitely this is what Lakshman said is correct. Ram could understand it. Hmm. So then he understood this deer should be killed now. Huh? Otherwise, it's dangerous. So you will see that Ram and Lakshman could detect the deer, but Sita was attached to the deer. She was not able to discriminate and understand the situation. That is why in a home, husband and wife, husband has rational approach to things and women have an emotional approach. So we have to combine both. huh? Because when you make a decision, you need to be courageous and considerate. You need to be bold and sensitive. You need to be polite and firm. When you combine these two traits, feminine and masculine traits, then the result will come out well. That is why we should not see from a one-sided point of view. That is the reason why Krishna did not tell Arjuna to kill Ashwatthama. When Ashwatthama was brought, Draupadi took a feminine viewpoint of forgiving him, but Bhima took a masculine decision of finishing him. And Krishna told Arjuna, you make a decision which will satisfy both. So the point is, Shastras say anything, they say they have no vengeance towards anybody. So when Shastras talk about women being less intelligent, it is not to criticize the women. Women have, in this way, the discriminative power can be less in making assessment in situations. So they have to be protected by men, just like children and old people and cows and calves. Cows and brahmanas have to be protected. Women also need to be protected. And like, for example, in Calcutta, that girl, 12:30, 1 o'clock, midnight, she's a doctor. And she's going for some duty on the road. And she was caught and they gang raped her. Correct, no? And many people opposed. They went on processions. How can a doctor who is doing such good service to society be gang raped? Shastras say a woman should never, after the sunset in the dark, a woman should never go alone. Before the sunrise or after the sunset, a woman should not go alone. They should always have somebody to protect them. Shastra should be followed. People, they don't, because now the world is all the more worse because of the social media and everything. So if she may say, I am a doctor, can't I go in the midnight alone? So there can always be such risks. Correct, no? Yeah. So therefore, one should not change what the Shastras are saying. The Shastras are saying it with deep maturity. And somebody, that's why he's saying it should be, like here he says, no obscure meaning should be screwed out of it. Correct, no? Yeah. We should not screw any in our own meaning. We should repeat the Shastra. Okay. This is called realization. The leader of the assembly, Shaunaka, could estimate the value of the speaker. Sri Sutta Goswami simply by his uttering, Yata Dhitam Yata Mati, he said. So no learned man should be willing to hear from a person who does not represent the original Acharya. So the speaker and the audience were bona fide in the meeting. Unless this situation is created, Bhagavatam recitation for extraneous purposes is useless labor for both the speaker and for the audience. So another point, from here Maharaj starts here. He says that proper Vaishnava etiquette, if it is there, then only Krishna will manifest from the mouth of the speaker. And then it carries spiritual potency. Then it can purify the heart of the hearers and awaken realization. So I'll give you one homework verse you all can read, 1.8.36. 1.8.36. So in that purport, Prabhupada says, there is a transcendental sound, there is a mundane sound, there is a seemingly transcendental sound, he's saying. So everybody knows difference between mundane sound and transcendental sound. So what is seemingly transcendental sound? It is like a gun without bullet. There's no bullet. Actually, people who don't represent the Acharya, their sound vibration will not carry much potency in transforming the hearts of the hearers. And those who don't follow proper etiquette, those who are arrogant in their sadachar, they are violent, they are angry, they are arrogant, they are independent minded, they don't represent the parampara. They may also be very, very famous Vakchaturya they may have. You know what is Vakchaturya? Proficiency in speaking eloquently. They can get the applause of thousands and millions of people. But they cannot represent the parampara. They are not useful because they are speaking something else. They are not speaking what parampara they want to convey. Okay, and then he goes on. See, for transcendental knowledge to be properly presented, this very important instruction will be carefully understood. Atmosphere of the surroundings where such recitations take place must be proper. Okay. See, without the observance, one of you can read this place. Go the mic with you.
Without the proper observance of Vaishnava etiquette, even the highest knowledge, the greatest scholarship will not have the proper effect. Because when we are discussing Krishna conscious subject matter, it is the presence of Krishna, the advent of Krishna into that sound vibration that gives its potency, that transforms the heart and purifies the minds of both the speaker and the hearer. It is not something material.
Yeah. Now, what purifies our heart? Dhyana Mangalam, Shravana Mangalam, we say. One place, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, the speaker should help the audience comprehend the compassionate nature of Krishna, the loving nature of the Lord, the powerful nature of the Lord, that there is nothing impossible for him. He can create millions of universes. Jnana, Bala, Aishwarya, Teja, Shakti, all these things are in oceanic proportion in Krishna. Then when the hearers get convinced about this, then they will be fully satisfied and peaceful in lotus feet of Krishna. They will not look for any alternative shelter. For example, in this world also there are beautiful people, but the beautiful people become ugly people. In this world also we have strong people, but strong people become weak people. Is it not true? In this world also there are billionaires, but billionaires have become beggars. It happens in this world. Whereas Lord is one person whose opulences never diminish. And not only that, Lord is the only person whose opulences are oceanic. And Lord is the only person whose opulences can never be separated from him. And Sripad Ramanuja gives the example. As much as the blueness of a blue lotus cannot be separated, like that Lord's opulences are inherent in him. They are always in him. They are in oceanic proportion and they never diminish. And on the contrary, the living entities' opulences are awarded and taken away for some period of time based on his punya. Plus, the living entities' opulences can diminish also over time. It diminishes, like Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, their strength diminished. And we have shown videos of cinema, Hollywood, Bollywood actors, how beautiful they were and how they became. You will feel sorry. Correct. How they were and how they become. Correct. Now we have shown the videos with you before. So, on the contrary, Lord's opulences are oceanic and they never diminish. So, when one hears these things, one's firm conviction in Krishna's lotus feet will increase. And then gradually one will learn to see the material world as the energy of the Lord. And one will be able to use everything in Krishna's service. Then in this way, Krishna can manifest in our sound vibration properly. See, read that in the Material University.
In a material university, if a teacher simply knows this subject and speaks it, and the student is willing to listen, then some learning takes place.
Like, for example, your professor can have a chalk piece on one hand and cigarette on the other. He can smoke also, he can write on the board and teach. There was one professor like that I have seen. So, and yes, he may continue to be a teacher. Like in the Western world, people say, Don't talk about the personal life of the teacher. He may be a debauchee, he may be a smoker, he may be a drunkard. But as long as he knows the subject, we can learn from him in the college. They say, the Prabhupada said, this doesn't work in Vedic approach. In Vedic approach, character comes first, teaching comes next. If you are not having character, you are not allowed to sit here. Huh? And the Vyasasana. Like if you are not following the four regulative principles, Prabhupada says, and if you are not properly learned in the scriptures, and we are not repeating the parampara, this is whose seat is it? Vyasadev's seat. He is supposed to sit there. How can we sit here? Huh? Therefore, first we have to follow. Then only we are allowed to speak it. So, in here, if somebody is a smoker or a drunkard, he cannot sit here. They're not allowed. As soon as one becomes characterless, one is doing illicit sex with somebody or meat eating, gambling, intoxication, they can't sit in Vyasasana. So, therefore, he says that material university, yes, you may have teachers who may be characterless and still they go on as teachers, correct? But when
But when we discuss Bhagavad philosophy, we are not concerned with simply learning. We are concerned with purification and realization, and that purification and realization can only take place when Krishna, personally, by his own sweet will, appears within that transcendental sound.
So, just like you all have seen a capsule where some powder is inside, correct, no? Huh? Without that powder, simply eating capsule, is it helpful? No. Similarly, when the speaker is speaking about Krishna, the hearers are hearing about it. The powder inside the capsule is the parampara's mercy, which the speaker gives. And the hearer, when he is hearing, what it causes to the hearer, the curing of the disease by the tablet happens. What is the curing? Is purification and awakening of realization. These two things happen in the hearer. But the powder is not there. If the parampara mercy is not there in the speaker, it's the empty sound. It doesn't carry any potency. So many people read that, they go.
Many people, they go to various study groups and they learn Bhagavad philosophy very nicely. But the purification and realization is not necessarily there. And I have known people who have had the entire Srimad Bhagavatam completely memorized, and yet they could not convince another person to change their lives. Whereas we have children in this Hare Krishna movement who hardly know a shloka, but they could convince people to change their lives. Because although Krishna is personally present within every syllable of Srimad Bhagavatam, his presence is manifested when the recitation is taking place according to the principles that we are studying, reading of here today. Where Vaishnava etiquette is properly being followed, pleasure is given to all of those devotees who are concerned, and by such pleasure, Krishna himself is satisfied and agrees to manifest himself through the vibration which is being spoken.
Yeah. See, one important point he says here, if you see here. See, we have children in the direction movement who hardly know a shloka, but they could convince people to change their lives. So when, for example, any of us go for preaching, how do you know you are a powerful preacher? If you are a powerful preacher, you should change the lives of the people. How do you change the life? For example, the boy was a materialist. Now he has become a spiritualist. He was smoking before. Now instead of a cigarette in the hand, he has agarbatti in the hand. Isn't it? Yeah, he's changed his life. The boy is wearing a tight jeans, which he didn't wash for 6 months. Now he's wearing dhoti kurta every day. Fresh. It's a change, correct, no? So there should be a change of heart, change of behavior, change of goals, change of life's purpose. There has to be change. That's what you call as heart transformation, correct, no? Spiritual discussion, knowledge transmission, heart transformation. All these three put together is called association. What is association? Spiritual discussion, knowledge transmission, automation. So, but if you only have a spiritual discussion, you say that we have a weekly program. Like sometimes in the West, in my travels, I have seen some college program, they only put a big plate of prasad. What all items are going to be there? I asked, where is the title of the lecture? Shh, we don't tell them the title. Because if we tell them the title, they won't come. But if you put prasad and plate picture, they come, what items will be there? So where is the speaker's name? I have to take a lens and see where speaker's name. Small Radheshyamdas, maybe small. Don't say ISKCON. Don't say, yeah, big plate of prasad. See, you will also get people like that. Correct, no? If you just show only the prasadam plate, people will come eat prasad and go. They will say that we thought you were going to only feed us. But now you are telling us to sit in a lecture also. So the idea is, first of all, at least besides eating prasad and kirtan, there should also be some spiritual discussion. And then that discussion should be so frankly and honestly done that it should lead to knowledge transmission. Because the boys and girls, they come with some idea of life, their own idea of life. But you have to tell them the correct, real truth. You have to tell them. Now, then only knowledge can be transferred to them. And the heart transformation. A change of heart should come. Like I had gone to Surat recently. There is an Arvindaksh Prabhu, disciple of Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. So every day he conducts a Bhagavatam class. In one of the congregation devotee, husband, wife, they are elderly people. They are opening their doors almost half this hall size. And every day 20, 25 people come. Daily morning they have 1 hour of Bhagavatam class. Chanting, if you want to go, you can go. But after chanting, they have Bhagavatam class. And it's happening every morning. And this Prabhuji is having a shikha also. He's a Grihastha devotee, very dedicated. So he had invited me. So I went for one class. So he said, my spiritual master is one as Bhakti Vikas Maharaj told me that I should do this preaching every day. And especially he told me to invite you and take inspiration for distributing Bhagavatam sets. He told them. So in this way, you will see that, not only he, all those 25, 30 people are chanting 16 rounds. Daily morning they come. And there are another 50 others who join online. Correct? No? So Prabhupada actually said that you can be guru in your own area. In your own small basti, 20, 30, 50, 100 people, as many people as you can influence. And start small Bhagavatam study circles. Like a Mataji doesn't have to go anywhere. In her own colony, she can call the children from the neighborhood on a Friday evening, Saturday evening, assemble them, maybe 10, 15, 20 children. Simply teach them how to recite shlokas in the beginning, how to tell a Krishna story, how to sing a Vaishnava song, how to offer bhoga to the deity, and how to worship the Lord, and how to dance in the kirtan, how to do namaskar, offering obeisances. Is it difficult to teach these things? And you don't have to be a big scholar for teaching this thing. All you need is a good heart to do this service. And you need enthusiasm to do this. And children are very fond if you, even Ramayana, for example, Shubhavilas Prabhu has given for 5 volumes. Just you read it and just put some activity and engage the children. Weekly, once you do, there are people like that who faithfully do for children and girls. Because girls, they cannot travel far away. In their own colony, if a Grihastha devotee starts a program, many girls in the same colony can come. Similarly, children also, they depend on parents to travel. If it is in the same colony, they can very easily learn. So it's not somebody may say, you're all brahmacharis in the temple, you are big preachers. What can we do? What can we do? You can do in your own area. Actually, it is immaterial whether you are a brahmachari or a grihastha. All you need is a good heart, a missionary heart, that I want to do something for Prabhupada mission. So, therefore, even a child in this moment, you can see, can convince others to change their lives. Although Krishna is personally present within every syllable of Bhagavatam, his presence is manifested. See, manifest means what? For example, in my hands, the kartal is present. But the kartal can be manifested. Now it is manifested now. You can see it. Otherwise, you cannot see that I have it. Correct, no? Like that, Krishna is there within the pages of Bhagavatam. Correct, no? He is present. Not that Bhagavatam doesn't have Krishna. Bhagavatam, Gurusi, Vicharasi Swanaha, word is used in Bhagavatam. Krishna emerges from the pages of Bhagavatam when you study or hear. But when will he manifest? Only when Krishna sees that the speaker and the hearer both are bona fide. Then, now what is the meaning of Krishna manifesting? For example, in Keturigram, they were doing kirtan. And Lord Chaitanya manifested, although at the time he was not there. He manifested there, like that, isn't it? Similarly, in Govinda Kund, Madhavendra Puri was chanting. And Gopal manifested from the bush. Correct, no? Similarly, Sakshi Gopal was standing in Vidyanagar. But then, when that innocent Brahman, who with firm faith approached Sakshi Gopal, he manifested. And then he walked such a long distance. And Lord can manifest through prasad also, in kirtan also. Lord can manifest through the Bhagavatam speaker also. How do you know Krishna is manifesting? And Krishna, like Lord Chaitanya fed some little prasadam to Narayani. Immediately Krishna manifested from Narayani's mouth when she chanted the holy name. She erupted with ecstasy. Similarly, when Gadadhar Pandit would speak Bhagavatam, Mahaprabhu would tell him, after the Dhruva Maharaj was completed, speak it again, he would say. Because Krishna manifested very powerfully when he spoke on Bhagavatam. So, in this way, when Krishna manifests, everybody's heart is overwhelmed with devotion and attraction and affinity for Krishna. They feel like soaked in, like a sponge soaked in water when they go out of the Bhagavatam class. Very fervent feelings towards devotees, towards Krishna, towards Prabhupada. That happens in the heart of a devotee. And Krishna is manifesting. Yeah. And then he's saying, where Vaishnava etiquette is properly being followed, pleasure is given to all of those devotees who are concerned. And by such pleasure, Krishna himself is satisfied and agrees to manifest himself through the vibration which is being spoken. Okay, now etiquettes for the speaker now. Now, what are those etiquettes? How do we follow those etiquettes? Now he's going to explain now. Go ahead.
Etiquettes for Srimad Bhagavatam speaker. And what is the etiquette that is required? The first is that the speaker must be a humble servant of the previous acharyas. He should not dare to think that he knows better or has deeper realizations than the previous acharyas. He should consider himself to be simply the humble servant, the instrument in the hands of Guru and the previous acharyas. This is an internal form of etiquette that before speaking, we should receive the permission of the senior Vaishnavas. We should not think that we have the right to speak without their blessings. If such senior Vaishnavas are present, we should receive their blessings. And if they are not physically present in our heart, within our mind, and within our prayers, we should not begin before begging them for permission and their blessings. And what is the permission and blessing that we beg from them? That now, with your permission, let me, by your mercy, repeat your words. Repeat your transcendental message for their benefit and for your pleasure. There are many reciters of Srimad Bhagavatam and Vedic literature, and they may be beautiful musicians, they may speak very eloquently and with great scholarship. They may even speak in such a way that they may enthrall and captivate people's minds and hearts. But for the message of Krishna and for the power of Krishna to be present, such a person must be humble himself and repeat the words of the previous acharyas in the proper disciplic succession. Otherwise, it is more or less just a pious form of entertainment. The real substance will not be imparted. Because bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyam hi edaduttamam evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu. Unless one is really a devotee, Krishna will not appear from his mouth. Like a bullet that is blank. A blank bullet sounds exactly like a real bullet. But the difference is there is no substance. A real bullet has the power to penetrate your heart. A blank bullet cannot penetrate, but it sounds just the same. In the same way, unless one is humble and surrendered to the previous acharyas, proper acharyas in disciplic line, whatever he speaks may sound exactly like Bhagavatam philosophy or Bhagavad Gita philosophy, but Krishna will not penetrate your heart through what he speaks. Even if such a speaker can make you cry tears by the very romantic and intensive way in which he speaks, still Krishna is not truly manifesting himself through such a person unless he has the blessings of the previous acharyas. And such a devotee, he must be speaking not for his own profit, not for his own reputation, but he must be speaking to please the previous acharyas and to benefit all those living beings who have come to hear him. In such a devotee, in the mood of a servant of the servant of the servant, speaks what he has heard. Then his words has divine transcendental potency, unlimited potency to change people's lives, to create revolutions in a person's heart. Because through his words, Krishna appears.
So in essence, what he is saying is that sometimes a young devotee who has read Acharya's Tika, say Bhavartha Deepika, Sridhar Swami, Sarartha Darshini by Vishnu Thakur, Brihat Toshini, Sanatana Goswami, Laghu Toshini, Jiva Goswami, Kramasandarbha by Jiva Goswami, additional commentaries are there. Hmm. So he has read many of the commentaries and he gathers from different places and puts them together. He is going to speak on a verse. And then when he is speaking, many people are amazed. Oh, amazing tikas. From various places, he has brought them together and assembled them together and is speaking so eloquently. He appears to be a very learned Pandita. And many people come and say that, oh, Prabhu, we have never heard anybody speaking like you. And then it goes to his head and he starts thinking, my Guru doesn't know so much. I am much more than I. Look at Prabhupada. Prabhupada gave only, one devotee was telling, Prabhupada just gave a 8-line purport. I spoke on the topic 4 hours, Prabhuji. Nobody was ready to move. People were just glued to their seat. I asked them, were they awake? I asked. Prabhuji, what are you saying? They loved the lecture so much. I said, your attitude doesn't seem right. So, one should not be too proud of one's capability. Actually, yes. See, you may be able to gather information and give, but spiritual sermon is not about just information with no transformation. If there is no transformation, it is not a spiritual sermon. Correct, no? First of all, it should transform me. If it's not transforming me, I am an arrogant and proud personality, thinking that I am speaking better than Guru and Acharyas in Parampara. Then I have not transformed myself. What good can I do for the other living entity? In fact, I will do more damage to them than good. Correct, no? So that's one thing he says. We should not override the previous Gurus and Acharyas. We should be very respectful to them. And in case they are present in the assembly, Guru and the seniors are present, we should first offer obeisances and tell them that, I have no adhikar to speak in your presence. But if you order me to speak, I will speak. Otherwise, like recently I was in IIT Bombay with my spiritual master and with Gauranga Prabhu also. Gauranga Prabhu, me and, Gaur Hari Prabhu. Gaur Hari Prabhu is a professor there. Gaur Hari Prabhu is one of the top 100 scientists in the world in AI now. It has come in the international news. He is counted in the top 100 scientists in field of AI. So he's working in IIT Bombay. So he had arranged a program for Maharaj. I was there. So Maharaj spoke. After about 45 minutes of speech, he told, see, I am not technically highly qualified like devotees like Radheshyam Prabhu, Gaur Hari Prabhu, he said. And then he said, Radheshyam Prabhu, would you like to speak something? And I said, no, Maharaj. Said, no, come here. He took off this thing and he put it on me and he told me to speak. So then I told in the mic that actually I feel ashamed to speak in his presence. Actually, he is like a very, he is like a sun. I am like a star. And I have no qualification. I am insignificant. But because he's ordering me to say something, then I will say something. So I spoke about 5 minutes. I spoke. So not only we should say it for the sake of formality as an etiquette, but we should actually feel it. Because somebody like him is so realized, in Yatra, 10,000 people who are 16 round chanters come, and they come and sit for 3 hours, 4 hours in the evening daily to hear from him. So, and it requires, a person requires such a depth and realization to speak. So, not only that, his steady practice for so many years, so many decades. In the same manner, when any of the gurus, when any of the, like Chinnajiyar Swami was there for our Rath Yatra. So he was also with us. And we were 3 of us presidents. So he was telling us, you speak. We told him, you speak first. He's like one of the world famous acharyas from South India. So Finally, we were saying back and forth. Mike was going from here to there to here. Finally, agreed to speak. Then he spoke an hour. Then we all spoke after that. And Vaishnava circles, there has to be that type of respect and gentleness when we are dealing with great souls. We cannot put ourselves in the center thinking we are great souls. So then only Krishna will manifest. Where there is humility, gentleness, appreciation, encouragement between one another, Priti Lakshanam, Priti, then Krishna manifests there. One is thinking, I know better than my guru, better than Acharya. That arrogant attitude will drive Krishna away. Krishna will not want to come to such a place. It becomes material. That's one thing he is saying. And another thing he is saying is, the words in which Krishna manifests, that has the ability to transform the lives of people. Now there are some voice centers where they are not able to make much devotees. They have very scanty population coming there, single digit number staying, and they are like drying centers which are at the verge of extinction. And there are some places like that. Now, why does that happen? It could also be because of their lack of expertise in knowing how to get the youth to come and how to train them and how to increase the enthusiasm. Some amount of dakshata is also required. And that could be one of the reasons. But another reason is that the inmates are all quarreling with each other. They are not happy with each other. They don't feel healthy towards one another. And they don't respect their superior. Or the brahmachari going there lacks some attitude. He has attitude problems, Vaishnavitical problems. He doesn't respect his superiors. He thinks he's all knowing. And he's a Bhinnatrik, which means he's an independent actor. So then what happens is lack of Vaishnava attitudes in both the senior as well as senior brahmachari as well as the boys. Then the boys below, they don't feel any juice there. They feel what is the need of coming here? This is worse than the outside world. Then they don't want to come. Krishna can only manifest if we are very thoroughly sincere. Because, see, why am I telling you this? Generally, material life teaches you that if you are a little clever, you can do some cheating and make money and nobody can catch you. Correct, no? Material world teaches you to be clever, to make money by, under the table money and all that. Whereas in spiritual life, we know that at every moment, Krishna's eyes are watching us. And if I lack that sincerity that Krishna expects from me, then Krishna will not manifest. And Krishna is called Sarvajna. He's all-knowing. Nobody can cheat him. He's present in every atom. So I have to practice Krishna consciousness from the bottom of my heart. Wholehearted consciousness. That's why he says, Tadat Sadbhava Bhavitaha. He says 2 verses. Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante maam buddha bhava samarpita. And then he says, Yo mameva sammudo janati purushottamam sa sarvabhet bhajati maam sarva bhavena bharata. In both the places he's saying sarva bhava. Sarva bhava means from the bottom of your heart you have to practice Krishna consciousness. When you are repenting from the bottom of the heart, you have to repent. Krishna, you are all-knowing. Krishna, I am the most ignorant. Krishna, you are the greatest. I am the most insignificant. And you are the most purest of the pure. I am the most impure. And you are the most powerful. I am powerless. So you surrender from the bottom of your heart, and immediately Krishna manifests in the holy name when we chant. In the same manner, Bhagavatam also, we should know that if I do some mischief, Krishna is watching me. And he will bring out that mischief at a in such a bad way. For example, you try to hide a mischief among 6 people. Krishna will bring that mischief in the midst of 6,000 people. And you will be so sad that, I try to meddle, I try to hide something in a smaller platform and then Krishna is revealing. Therefore, we have to be thoroughly honest when we are dealing with other living entities, because the matter, spirit, and the controller of both. Krishna is the controller of both. He is ultimately the master of all material elements as well as spiritual jivas. There is nothing he doesn't know. Everything he knows. We actually thoroughly honest means you are a man of high integrity. When you have high integrity, your spiritual life will also become very powerful. Mhm. Because you live at every moment in the presence of Krishna. Wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever you speak, Krishna is constantly going with you. With that consciousness. So then only we can change people's lives. So how to hear, Maharaj is saying, read that. The hearer.
How to hear by Radhanath Swami. And the hearer must first of all be anxious to hear.
This we will hear when we come back after prasad. Now it's getting late. I know some of your stomach is butterflies are flying. So you'll be hungry now. Take prasad. Then we are coming at 11:30, I think. So 11:30 when we come, we will do this and then we will go to the group presentation. Okay? Srila Prabhupada ki